It's a privilege to be here to greet Jean, Nadav, Daphne, and Amy, and Dror, all the distinguished colleagues and friends. We did not have enough time with Yoram. As you all know better than I, time and space are relative. Yoram understood space. That was his backyard. This is his backyard. He understood, he studied it, he loved it, he published it, he described his papers all over the world. But this was his career. But I think it wasn't just that space that's remarkable to me. It's the human space that he created. He was an international figure. He was a wonderful husband. We're beginning to understand some of these dynamics as a wonderful father, a son, and a brother. This space is something that can't be quantified with equations. But the space that I entered mostly was as a friend. This started in Nadav's garden in Missoula, Montana. He eventually met Amy, and then that led to my meeting this wonderful young man who was very energetic, extremely bright, and very lovable young man. And I wondered whence that came. I understood that when I met Yoram and Jean. That was very apparent at that point. And subsequently, on my trips to Washington, I would be sure that I would spend time with Yoram and Jean, if I had time, the Smithsonian. But these times were treasures. We would frequently spend time at their home. Other times we'd spend time at a restaurant chosen by Jean for the perfect food, the perfect wine. And I learned that time is nonlinear. We would find out that the waiters would be shuffling and they would be looking at their watches, and then hours had passed. Time had just evaporated into space. This was the time you'd spend with Yoram. Yoram was a conversationalist. This is a dying art in our culture. He could talk. He didn't lecture. He talked to you, and that's unusual. He made trips even to New Hampshire. And he spent time in the cardiac laboratory where he looked at some of the telemetry we were doing. His scale was kilometers, ours was millimeters, but he intuitively understood and had some suggestions for us too. But I'll never forget the space. When I think of space, I'll think of Yoram. But it's the human space that I will remember. And time, it's the time spent with him. We didn't have enough time with Yoram. But we have to go on. And so I think that the best advice I would have is to do things that he would want us to do. I think we know what those things are. We should, in order to perpetuate his spirit, we should go on with what he would want us to do. And I think we all know what that is. I'd like next to introduce Nicole Rose Kaufman, a close friend of the family.